I'm currently 16 weeks out from a sub 3 hour marathon attempt, about 93.5 kilos, 205 pounds, and today I have just finished a hard effort half marathon attempt. I'm currently talking to you from the inside of the car at the end of my run because it's the windiest conditions I have ever ran in, and you need to be able to hear me, so I'm a little bit sheltered. But if you stick around, I'm going to give you a mile by mile breakdown of how today has gone. Okay, and we are en route to today's training location, and the fact it is a training location is an important thing to flag. In my last video, I focused a lot on environment and how I haven't really been vibing all that hard for most of 2024 with the sort of main environments I interact with, whether that's due to familiarity, repetitiveness, exhausting the routes and sort of getting a little bit too much into a day-to-day monotonous routine, I don't know. But the bottom line is that having a fixed training location or something that I can look forward to make a bit more of an event, a bit more of a ceremony around training has proven very valuable for me in the past. So that's something I'm employing right now. For the past 6 years in fact, Saturday mornings have been protected as my low intensity steady state aerobic work, and recently I found it a little bit more difficult to make that a complete non-negotiable. So whenever I feel myself slipping into that, knowing how valuable making it a non-negotiable is for my training adaptations, my time efficiency and my overall mental well-being, I've made sure to make training a little bit more of a break from the day-to-day routine so it doesn't end up feeling like a box that needs ticks within the context of the day. So driving to the East Coast today, the East Coast has featured a lot on the YouTube channel in the past, very triathlon training dominant if you've been here for a while, but I'm going from the house to the East Coast today just to have a predictable, mostly flat training location to work with. It is very windy today, 18 miles an hour and gusts of 30, but I'm going to run into the wind to start with and run with it on the way back. All parked up, and it is stupidly windy, so much so that there are plenty of kite surfers around, which is always indicative of high winds, and I could well be regretting my decision to come to the East Coast for this run, but nonetheless, at least it's a pretty setting. It's mostly flat, and if I can hang on for the first half, then I'll get a tailwind on the way back, so survive to thrive, etc, etc. Anyway, I'm pretty much good to go. One thing I've realised is I'm going to have to carry car keys in my pockets, which means I'll be flapping about a little bit and irritating me, but there's bigger problems to have. So GoPro, car keys, inhaler. So mile by mile breakdown of today's training session incoming in 3, 2, 1, 0. Miles down. Let's begin. Okay, mile 1 down. Headwind is ridiculous. 6:41 first mile, feeling solid, punchy headwind, punchy hill to start, and I am on a road at the moment, so goodbye. Mile 2, 7:01, working quite hard already with this. It's going to be a tough day at the office this. Mile 3, 7:39. Holy shit, this wind is battering me. As I said, survive to thrive on this one. Get to the halfway point without blowing up beyond return and smooth sailing back. I hope. 4 miles deep, 7:20, 28:50 total time. Settled into a bit of rhythm now that I'm on the streets rather than direct coast for a little bit. I've got more of a perception of what actual pace is versus pace with the wind, so keep on trucking. Mile 5, 7:16. Wind hasn't changed, pacing hasn't changed much. Effort level nice and steady.
just cruising really, but definitely working hard. Good thing it's such a nice day. Mile 6, 7:16, slight downhill at the moment, which feels pleasant. About to turn around, so next mile update will be, yeah, we'll have turned around. How exciting. Let's see if this very much turns into a tale of two halves, or just quite a difficult, more threshold, less sub-threshold run. 7 miles deep. Last mile was 7:14, so happy that I've broken the back of it. And in the tailwind now, which is, one, much hotter, because I don't have the breeze keeping me cooler, but definitely feeling that. Brief today. It's weird that I wonder if anyone else is bilingual like I am in their metrics management. So I have miles for laps and rolling average pace in kilometres, just so I've got a couple of points of reference. So average pace thus far, 4:29 per K, and then I'm giving you updates in minute per mile. So transatlantic debate in the comments, begin. Mile 8, 7:14, nothing much to report to be honest. Definitely feeling the heat more, but I'll take it given the circumstances. So as long as I don't bonk, we're okay. Mile 9, 7:20, feeling a bit of fatigue now. I think the first half's worked me a bit harder than expected, so I'm just settling into a sort of conversational rhythm now, settle at sub-threshold so that I don't push this session harder than it needs to be. Essentially, not a best effort, just a moderate to hard effort, so stick to the 7:23. Legs lagging a little bit behind heart rate, which is interesting to note from a conditioning point of view. Know what I need to work on for the rest of this prep. Mile 11, 7:34. Pace has dropped a bit just to keep heart rate and RPE in the right range. So I've definitely hit a point where there's a bit of a drop off, which would be good to analyse afterwards. Mile 12, 7:43, and just about to get back onto the road section as well, which is always a bit ropey, so hopefully this isn't the last known clip of me speaking to camera in history, as cars can hoon it around these corners quite aggressively. Okay, job done. 1:36.27, data on the screen for you just here. Pleased with that, you know, I'm really pleased with that. I think the wind definitely smashed me about a little bit, but in terms of efficiency, lungs, I'm feeling solid. Legs, time on feet's going to be key, which we knew already, but it's good to feel it in training because it gives you confidence that the work in equals the goals at the end. So what I'm going to do is get my breath back, grab some bits in the car, grab a bit of food from the little sort of food truck thing that's in the car park here. I'll touch base with you in the car. Okay, job done. I am far too hot in this car because it's quite stuffy, but I've just murdered a can of full sugar Coke. So I don't know who I will have upset more in terms of zealots on the internet, the anti-artificial sweetener crowd who believe that this is better for you than Diet Coke, or the anti-sugar crowd who believe that this is the worst thing on the planet. Either way, that was exceptionally refreshing and I enjoyed it very much. So I'll see you back at the house once I have cooled down and had a shower. And we are back, but not in the house, in fact, but rather in Mallorca, which is a rather drastic change of geographical location, I admit, but that is because I forgot to film the debrief at the house as promised. But anyway, data on the screen for you again as a reminder. All in all, very pleased with that, really enjoyed it. Brutal wind throughout, which meant that what was a moderate tempo effort became a little bit of a harder effort towards the end as I was a bit sapped. But encouraging and enjoyable. I've really enjoyed having a little bit more cadence and sort of speed in my legs after 6-7 months of really aerobic, list-focused work for the 250k. And I am here in Mallorca doing a lot of speedier work, even heading to a track in Magaluf next week, which is going to be interesting. Who would have thought that the best running track in Mallorca was in the almost, how do I politely put this, most questionable party locations within Europe. I guess polite way of putting it. Hope that's not offended anyone or pass judgment, but it's not somewhere that I'll be going for a couple of beers, put it that way. I'll instead be going for a couple of laps
of the track. But I'm rambling. Make sure to hit subscribe down below if you haven't yet already done so you can see what my training documentation is looking like over here in Mallorca. Like the video, as well as comment with your thoughts and or feelings. And I thought I'd just flag, because I'm very frustrated and doing my best to keep a brave face, that I've just spent the past 2.5 hours trying to recover a whole load of files that have been corrupted on this card that I was filming loads of stuff on yesterday. So that could be almost 100 gigs worth of footage lost due to some technological BS, basically. So fingers crossed that is recoverable when I get back over on home soil, because that would be an absolute nightmare if not. But anyway, you can see all of this unfold because you've already hit subscribe, haven't you? Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.